Comics are particularly effective when it comes to the depiction of identities, construction of identities which manifest themselves phenotypically. Okay, particularly in alternative comics, yeah, things like ethnicity, I don't know, gender, of course, yeah, sexual orientation, a big thing. Age, yes, to some extent, that too. These kind of identities, of course, are very, very well depicted in comic books. So I will show you how it's done and what it is all about. I mean, here we go. Yeah, this is Scott McLeod, who talks about or who writes about abstraction. Okay, and let's just read this together. Yeah, when we abstract an image through cartooning, we are not so much eliminating details as we are focusing on specific details. Okay, not eliminating details, focusing on specific details. By stripping down an image to its essential meaning, an artist can amplify that meaning in a way that realistic art can't, which means you concentrate on those marks which are representative of a particular identity. And look at that. Yeah? This here is just an image, okay? An image of a face, a person. Strong abstraction. I mean, stripped down to the essential, as Scott McLeod would say. However, I mean, if you juxtapose it with this image, it's clear that it is a male representation of a male face, you see. So you need the other in order to make the identity clear, because the other one, when you put those two together, one becomes male, the other female. If you showed them in isolation, it wouldn't be obvious. Not at all. Okay? Here we are. This is what it is all about. Look at that. This is Tintin, Hergé, of course. Hergé, Tintin, who's a boy. Okay, here we go. I mean, his identity is a boy, well dressed, I mean, wearing a tie, having a particular hairstyle, but that's it. Yeah? A boy, but if you put him in context, here we go, he becomes a white boy. You see, and this is what comics can do, juxtapose identities. I mean, of course, here, Hergé has been very much under pressure because of these images, yeah, a stereotypical depiction of Africans. We should cut him some slack. I mean, this dates back to the 1940s, of course, yeah. Nobody thought about political correctness in those days. But yes, you could say from a modern perspective today, it's racist. Whether you could call it racist in the 1940s, I'm doubtful of that. But here we go. Yeah, what I wanted to say is, yes, a boy becomes a white boy if you put him in context, okay? And this is what comics can do. Look at that, another one. This is Will Eisner, yeah? Ebony, the sidekick of the Spirit, okay? He's a taxi driver. That's his identity here. That's what he is, yeah? A taxi driver, but here, of course, if you juxtapose him with the Spirit, he becomes a African-American taxi driver, depicted in a very stereotypical fashion. Same thing, yeah? Will Eisner has been very much under pressure because of that, but still, as Hergé, dating back to the 1940s, okay? So here we are. Yes, of course, and of course, identities manifesting themselves also linguistically. He speaks black English, okay, yo man, ma, super spy, and so on. Whereas the Spirit, white, heteronormative, male, speaks standard English, of course, yeah. Here we go. But look at that, a more up-to-date example here from my favorite cartoonist of all times, Gilbert Hernandez. Gilbert Hernandez, this is from American in Palomar. Palomar is set in Mexico. There's an American photographer visiting the village, and of course here, you see directly juxtaposed the Mexican beauty, this is Tonantzin, that's her name, Mexican beauty, and Howard Miller, a gringo, they call him. And their identities become clear if you put them side by side, okay? And with her, of course, basket on the head, and this adds to the to the image here. Okay, anyway, yeah, this is how comics work. Look at that, this is Ananda's as well. I mean, ethnicity, yes, and of course, gender, age. Yeah, here we go. Age, this is the protagonist of Hernandez's graphic novels, Luba. A fascinating thing about Hernandez's novels is Palomar novels, that that they exist in real time. I mean, he started in 81, he's still going strong. We age with his protagonists. Yeah? Some die, some new ones are added, some move somewhere else. This is the constant here. This is Luba, and we follow her from 1981 up to the present day. So this is Luba in 1982 or something like this, and this is Luba in 2007. Luba is still going strong these days. She still is, has put on a few pounds, but still a ravishing beauty. She's now in her 60s. I mean, she was probably in her early 20s back in 1981, and she's in her 60s now. Okay, so age, yeah, but identities, when I talk about that, age is one kind of identity, of course, and you can show people age in graphic novels, comics, which you can't, or as well in novels, because you have to explain it, but pictures, showing faces, of course, do that in a very, very impressive manner. And that too, Luba as well. This is Luba, okay. Luba, a graphic echo, if you like, yeah. Which I found. I mean, this is Luba in her 30s or something, yeah, the first one, and Luba in her 40s, and introducing her two kids, first of all, to her husband, Cam, or who was away. Okay, anyway, and then some like 10 years later, you see, I mean, two new kids are added, and of course, Doralis has grown up. This is the one to her left-hand side. Yes, and her husband obviously has some marks in his face. Her hair has grown white. Some wrinkles were added, of course. And the background is different. Yeah? There's some construction. It's obviously the same place, but some construction has been going on. I mean, there's the passage of time over a long period of time depicted between those two panels. And of course, it becomes clear if you see the protagonist's age. So yes, age, a very important identity. Okay. Anyway, this is what I wanted to say about comics. I mean, we could go in, and I will probably go in much greater detail later on by talking about particular comics in detail. But so far, I think as an introduction, it's all right. What I would suggest is, if you read a comic, just ask yourselves all the time, how would I depict this particular, or describe this particular event, action, whatever it is, in a novel? And then you will find out what the comic, of course, can do, what the novel can't, or probably a novel can do better than a novel. Every narrative genre has its strengths and weaknesses, okay, or some strengths in contrast to the other, and the other can do something else. One thing which I have to mention about comics, they are often compared to film, but they have one big advantage if you compare them to film, and that is you can choose your own pace. Okay, you can go back, you can take some time looking at a picture. A film gives you the sequence and, of course, the speed in which you have to consume it. A graphic novel, you may sit and ponder, okay, on various images, and probably a saying which you like, some of that, and you may move back and forward, and as fast as you like, or as slow as you like. As a general rule, I mean, you should spend as much time reading a comic page as you would reading a page of a novel. Some people go too quickly. And I think it's a genre, yes, which is certainly having a great future. Particularly, I mean, since it's so easy to produce these days, and it's so easy to distribute across the net, and things like that. Yes, there's a lot to come, and I'm very much looking forward to that. Very much looking forward to what is going to come. Thank you. Yes, I hope I've vetted your appetites and that you will read comics yourself, and probably start off with MacLeod's Understanding Comics, getting the narratology of the comic first, and then approach the genre. So thank you very much for listening, and I'll probably be back, if you like, with detailed reading suggestions of what to read in this particular genre. Okay.